connect. We have that communication. And then the whys, and we'd say, but now why do you want to go and stay there? And you know, there's some things that parents fear to talk about, more especially now in this era that the devil has come in so clearly with rebellion, and then you're having this so-called LGBT and spoiling our children. You tell them, well, how did God create? Have that discussion. I have a 12-year-old. When he was growing, that means he's having hair, right?
Pubic
I
hair.
was not shy about it. I went and bought razors, blades, you know, shavers, and I put them there. And then I went to my husband. I said, babes, I called my husband babes. And I said, babes, you need to create time for this boy. You need to speak to him. So that we're not shy about it. He doesn't have to study it from somewhere else. I had to tell him myself. So that is communication.
Yeah, this is a deodorant. This is how you use it. You put on a vest as a boy.
And now he has deodorants. We buy him deodorants. And there was a time when the dad bought him some sprays and they weren't so good. He has eczema. And I said, no, let's change the deodorant. So we now buy him Nivea. Or we buy him Rexona.
Very soft on skin,
Very soft. And he uses it and you say, don't you like this? He says, yeah, this smells much better.
But there's a parent out there with a teenage boy who has no clue what the teenage boy is doing and what is happening in their lives.
That's true.
They don't know whether they need to shave. They don't know whether they even need deodorant. They even feel it's a wastage of money. And not because they don't have money, but because they are aloof and detached. So the boy is getting this information from school. That is why they will long to go and do all these things. And while we're talking about communication, something came to me about creating anticipation in our children. When they have something to look forward to, you know, it's a different kind of excitement for them because they can even skip one thing and tell them, no, let's just skip that sleepover at your friend's place. But you know, we have this coming up. And then they will even proudly tell their friends that, hey, what you're going to do is just a mere sleepover. I have a boys' night, a boys' whatever, fishing, something with my father. And they will take it so important until you let them down. Now, when you let them down, that is when they learn to hold on to what is current. And they're like, my parents, I can't trust them because they have disappointed me once or twice. That is many times. So I cannot honor them. So I think creating anticipation and just having systems in our home.
Yes, systems. That's what I have to talk about.
Systematization. You know, it takes away all the guesswork.
Yes.
Because then everyone knows what to do, when to do it. And so it doesn't have, and it even keeps you in touch. Because you stop yelling. It helped me to stop yelling. You know, I was brought up in a home where we speak the loudest. And, you know, it's good to know yourself. So I was like, what will help me stop yelling? Because every time you'd be like, wait, you know, every time. So I was like, if my children will start thinking whenever mommy comes, that's when. And then I would have a nanny who is like, you would not hear their voice. Even when they wake up to prepare kids to go to school, you will not hear any word in the house. I'm like, how do people do these things? Silently, does she even speak? Then I was like, no, systems. I have timetables. You come back from school, you remove schools, you do this, you do this. So now the guesswork is out that I don't have to yell at you to do everything. But again, I can be able to guide you lovingly and say, no, you didn't do what you were supposed to do. What did the timetable say? So now it's a reminder, it's a gentle reminder instead of a harsh comment that I'm throwing at them. And I think the moment we cement our relationship with our children, then the wanting to go out and seeking all the pleasures the outside have to give, I think it's going to a bit come down because sometimes they're running away from something.
Exactly.
Yes.
So how do we curb this? How do we, because we have been talking about how we curb it, but from the side of the children, I want us to get into their minds and be able to inform the parents what the children are, because children have become something else. They understand at 1 year old, at 2 years old. So they are busy reasoning with the parents, and the parents have no clue how to even respond to their children. What are these children? What's making them the way they are?
You see, to just continue with communication as I answer that, I'm a preacher. For some reason, I'm privileged to be in some spaces, in some places. I take my children with me. I tell them, like they know, they are very aware I'm here. They're at school, but they're aware I'm here. And so I tell them, I'm going to do ABCD on Spirit TV because they have seen me on different TVs. And so they know that Mama has gone here. We have a retreat for the ministry, and we're going to be at a resort. And I tell them, we are going to the resort. And once we do that, the inquisitiveness is reduced. I tell them, oh, let's go walk. There's a time when I wanted dodo, this local, I didn't want to buy, and it had rained, and I stay in a place that is coming up or developing. And so I stopped the car, and I went picking it. And my son was like, Mama, no. I said, won't you eat it? And I said, do you see anyone coming to stop me? It is on the road. Let me pick it. So I picked it up and I went back home and I sat down with him and I said, it is not wrong for you to pick dodo because it's going to go into your stomach. So never feel shy to do ABCD. So I'm communicating to them and I'm getting into their small minds of, remember the reaction?
That's exactly because,
Mama.
they're reacting because they're thinking something.
Yes. Mama, don't do this. Mama, did you have to do this? And I say, yes, I did. We don't have greens. And I think this is the best. So communicate to them. This, take out
Age
that.
appropriate in the way they understand.
Yes. Another thing, Hilda, we who have been privileged with TV, we have allowed our children to develop into a character that they watch.
That they are not.
Exactly.
So you're not having
a normal
child.
Ariella. I will give an example of mine.
Yes.
You have Frozen.
You have Frozen. and she
Ariella.
wants to speak like Frozen. And so it brings her to
Has
the
American
fantasy
accent.
world. So she begins fantasizing.
Yeah.
So she grows up and she's like, I want to be, this is who I am. So she
even tells you, Mommy, buy me a white bed and I want a pink house. And then
you see. So they begin having that kind of, but when you tell them, no, look here, that is for entertainment.
Just for TV.
It is for you to just be comfortable and to do ABCD. So you make them get into their mind, study them, listen to them. Listen to them.
I was going to comment on that.
Yes.
Children can actually speak until you give them room for you don't have an opinion. And so
then
later,
we show it to them so many times.
Yes, and they will speak it out to a
Somewhere.
person willing to hear them. And so they start to confide in that person who becomes their counselor, which sometimes is the wrong content.
Yeah.
So let's listen to them. They actually have a message. My son actually told me, Daddy, you don't talk like that. I was like, wow. Because I had raised my voice. For the first time, he had not heard me do that.
You don't shout at babies. That's what mine told me. You don't shout at babies. For her, she's a baby.
So imagine.
And she knows how she wants to be spoken to.
Yes. You listen to them and then you guide them. Let me just go back a little because we talked about deodorants. And I thought, oh, there are people who do not have deodorants. Yeah? But you can buy a razor.
Yeah.
Some of us did not grow up with shavers. No.
People use ash.
Ash.
Hey.
Yes. And then you know.
Let me tell you, we grew up in hash days. You use hash.
Yes. So you might be out there saying, oh, they're just talking about deodorants. No. We have plants.
And then we have, what was it called? Kalaza or something like that.
Yes, there
was those
some
herbs.
Yes, there's some plants that,
yes. Even bombo.
Yes, and bombo,
so you don't have to smell like a he-goat.
Yeah.
You know, there's a time when my son, when he started, developing those things, and also my daughter. So the father said, no, you have to bathe. So he said, but Daddy, I bathed. So he said, no, you didn't bathe well. Scrub your armpits. So there are things I don't first speak to them until I teach them. And I say, I taught you how to do this. I taught you how. Yes.
Go and do that.
Go and do that. So I also told my son, you go and get a bombo. Do it. Bathe with it.
Then we call
yes.
You cook home, food at home.
So we developed, from that we developed that deodorant. We said now you have graduated to a deodorant, and he has deodorants. So we need to listen to our children.
Yeah. Get into their minds,
Yes.
give them the age-appropriate
Yes.
information, and make sure that they understand you. Because sometimes we think what we are speaking they understand, and yet they don't understand, and sometimes it takes repetition over time that you don't expect. I told them once, and they've heard, and that is it. Because they are resilient. They will come back at a different angle. They will ask for the same thing in a different tone and in a different environment, and then they have a divide and rule.
Yes.
Get daddy alone and get mommy alone. If you get them, the two of them, be with them, you're not going to get what you want. So you make sure that you have the same front as parents.
Yes.
That when I come and say I want a sleepover to a dad, dad is not like, hey, my girl, it's okay, you can go have a sleepover. And then the mother is like the police person in the house. I go, no, they're not going. So you tend to disagree with the father in front of the children, and then they're thinking, so I will always get them differently, and I can always get favors from one parent and not the other, which is not right. If you're a parent, if you're the disciplinarian, you need to be backed up by the other parent in order to drive the point home and make sure that, you know, let's have the last remarks. The time is really running. There's so many things that we wanted to talk about today, but we will get more time with Mr. Senoga together with Mrs. Luanga. We talk about this because, again, this is a generation where we need to repeatedly talk about things in order for some people to even understand or even take action.
Yes.
They can listen to the same thing 100 times and not take action. And maybe they're 100 times. So we are going to be patient. We are going to walk this journey together. We are not leaving anyone behind.
Yes.
What your last remark?
I have so much, but my line is, as Christians, we have followed what the world is giving us rather than following what the word tells us. So we need to get into what the word teaches us. Then we can teach our children. Get from the world what will help your child grow into what you want.
Them to grow.
Monkey see, monkey do.
do.
Train up a child to the ways he should go. If you do not train that child, you are training a leopard, and a leopard will come back and eat you.
And eat you alive.
So
alive.
be very sure of that.
Wow.
This child will come back and eat you and will be a problem to you.
Yeah.
Over time, I've realized that even us, not just the children, even us, we are products of everything we have been accumulating over time. And so we don't give up halfway and say, I've done enough. I love what you said about repetition. So I respect the pattern that even our parents had to go down that
even
road.
Until now.
Even
our
now.
parents take care of us. They're
Yes.
even concerned.
Yes.
How we are.
So we cannot do one thing 1 year and we think, no, I have done enough, I'm too busy for these children, because it will eventually pay back.
That's true.
Time will pay back and bring the result. So let's not quit.
Wow. What you input is the output. Monkey see, monkey do. We have heard about that. So now you know exactly what to do. Not getting to 18 and you're thinking, now they're out of my hands. Off they go. And we love to hear from you. Please let us know. And if you need us to handle anything else, ask those questions. Any trending stories out there that are left unhandled and untouched, we'll make sure that we break them down. We talk about them. I know that time is never enough, but at least we'll be able to tackle certain things that I know can be able to be worked out on your side and on your end. We love you and we'd love to hear from you. So get onto our comment section and let us know on the number on the screens. Let us know. Hold my hand, always there on Friday. Come, let's learn together and grow together. From us to you is a good night. I think it's an issue of growing up. I think I've really grown. Now that I can have parenting conversations and I'm enjoying them, it's like I'm having candy. It's like I want to hear more of this. I want to have people's opinion on what they think and what they are doing so that I can see whether I'm doing it right, whether I need to rectify it. And I think we should be in that place of maturity that wants to learn as much as we can, but also hold steadfastly the goodness and the learning, the word, the scriptures, and the things that teach us how to bring up the children. Because I know that if God has a plan for them, the part of God's plan is putting you as a parent to those children. So you're a steward, and you must be able to do what is demanded of you and was commanded by God. So I believe that you have picked one or two things from this episode. I know that we will have so many parenting episodes to come together with Mr. Senoga and together with Mrs. Luanga. They've done us well, and I am so thankful that we get to have these conversations. So look into your life, reflection time, but from us to you is a good night.